My next guest is coming off a really impressive victory this past weekend at UFC Vegas 16, getting that finish on Jose Quinonez. It is Louis Smolka back here on the program. Louis, how's it going, man?
It's good, James. Glad to be here.
Yeah, glad to talk to you, man. Another win. It feels like not that long ago we were talking about a win that you had in Vancouver last year, which was a finish. This fight was a finish as well here, too. Must be nice to finish out the year with a big statement victory like this.
Yeah, pretty happy about it. Got a bunch of money now. Can go look at houses kind of seriously. Can start planning for my kids' future. So that's pretty dope.
Good for you, man. Yeah, well, it's well-deserved. Is there sort of a weight lifted off your shoulders just because I know you probably wanted to, move past that fight with Kenney and to end the year like this, I mean, that's got to feel nice going into the holidays.
Yeah, it does. I don't know. Kenney's good, man.
No, absolutely. Yeah, no, I'm not discrediting that win. I just mean for your own personal self to come off a win going into the end of the year is great, right?
Yeah, no, it's always big. Anytime you win it feels great. It's just like a lot off your mind, kind of.
Yeah, no, for sure. We'll talk about the performance in a second, but I wanted to mention, this fight was supposed to happen in November. I know you had, sort of like a weight cut issue. What exactly happened, as far as the initial matchup that was scheduled in November for those who might not know?
Okay, so, so after the Kenney fight, I tried to put on some weight because I kind of got manhandled in that fight. So he came in bigger than I thought he was. He didn't look like that against Marab, and then he came in he looked like he'd been doing strength and conditioning the whole 4 or 5 months. I was like, all right, I'm gonna try that. And for the most part, it was really easy for me to make a 135. I wouldn't really diet at all. I would diet the week of, I'd cut carbs, and I'd be on weight within a few days. It was really quick. So this one, I thought it would go roughly the same. When I was reading up on it, it said that it takes a while to put on actual core weight, So I thought it was just gonna be fluff. And then I just it was coming off though. It was coming off pretty quick, but I ran out of time at the end, and then I'm not sure what happened, but the next day I was throwing up, and I had these weird burps, and so we told the doctors, and they took my EKG, and they took my my pulse, all that stuff. They took all my readings, and they're like, yeah, we're gonna pull you. Something's up. It felt when I would shake my head, my brain was rattling in my skull. I felt I could feel it hit the edges. It was weird. Yeah. And I don't know. So I kind of think we figured out what it was. Took care of it, and I was able to make the weight this time. Yeah.
And you got the fight rebooked. I mean, that's the great part, because I think the matchup was great to begin with. And, sometimes they don't do that. Sometimes they give the opponent someone else. But you must have been happy with them rebooking the fight, because it was a great fight on paper, even heading in.
Yeah. So, yeah, I guess, with COVID and stuff, nobody really wants to leave. And they're just rebooking fights, immediately,
Yeah.
So yeah,
it worked out well.
Good.
What was the game plan heading in?
He's a movement guy. I didn't really want to commit too early while he was moving, so he wouldn't be there. I didn't want to sit on my punches too early. So I was kind of just moving around, making him. I was trying to make him use more energy than me. He was moving around a lot. He was really committed to trying to win that first round. I don't think it was super one-sided, but it was. I would give it to him, honestly, off of just activity. Mm-hmm. I don't want to say I was getting it wasn't a 10-8 round. It wasn't anything even close to that,
Mm-hmm. No, for sure. I think that's an accurate assessment. Was there anything that surprised you in the fight sort of early on with him that you weren't expecting?
Yeah, I was expecting him to come out mirrored stances. That's what he did. Basically every other fight was he would come out in a mirrored stance. He would mirror the other guys. Because when he fought that Carlos Huachin guy, the shorter southpaw, he fought him orthodox. And then when he fought Joey Gomez, who's a tall, kind of built like me, he fought him primarily southpaw. So I just assumed he would take the mirrored stance. Then when he didn't, I was pretty confused. And then he started throwing the calf kick. I was like, oh, okay, this is what he wants to do.
So you come out in the second, you get the finish. How much weight is lifted off your shoulders at this point? Just because I know you love finishing fights, and I know you never want to leave it in the judges' scorecard. So what's going through your head once the referee steps in?
I felt it was pretty good. It was good timing. I felt he was kind of tired on the ground. He just I was able to flatten them, like from back flat, like that's kind of like an instant TKO almost, like just because they can't really do anything except block. If you can keep them there. So I was happy I was able to like work through everything and get to that position.
Fantastic. And I know, you and your manager, Jason House, you have sort of a special bond. I know you guys have kind of worked through a lot of things together. What was that conversation like after that win? Because I know he was so proud of you to see you get that finish.
We were just relieved, man. Like, it was just relief. Like, there's a lot of cuts coming. I'm probably not going to be one of them. It's just relief, Like, you're just, okay. I can still fight. I can still compete. Like, my fights are still good, honestly. Like, I still feel like I don't know. I still feel like there's a lot there, like a lot of highlights that I have to give still. I have a lot of great moments to give.
Oh, absolutely. And you mentioned it in the post-fight interview, like you came into the UFC at 22 and, you're just hitting like, you still got room to grow as far as the promotion. So it must feel cool that they're still sticking by you and want to see you, continue on. Cause like you mentioned, the fight before you lost to a guy in Casey Kenney, who last time I checked is now fighting Dominic Cruz. Like you're fighting really tough opposition.
Yeah, no, like Casey Kenney's real, dude. I kind of said that going in, like he's a top level fighter. He's a class fighter.
Yeah, no, it was great. So how did you celebrate after the fight?
I drove straight home.
Did you? Okay, that night, yeah, because you want to get home and see your family, right? Yeah.
Morning, I'm still kind of tired, but yeah.
No worries. Well, I appreciate you doing the interview. It's always appreciate you taking the time. And then you mentioned obviously getting a little bit of extra money. How's that going into the holidays? I'm sure it's going to be a good Christmas for your family.
That's great. Like, just honestly, it's awesome. You feel good, everything's taken care of for a little bit, and then the quicker I can get back in the cage, the better.
Fantastic. What was the feedback like on social media after this win? Because a lot of people were talking about that finish.
Yeah, everybody's really, really happy. People like the judo throw. Like they think that part was pretty cool. Yeah, I did judo in high school. That was like one of the things they showed us. It's like I don't remember the exact name. It's like Koshiguruma or something. But it's I remember they have Keisagatami, and it's just like that's where it goes. It goes straight. It's like the standing version of it. But yeah,
that was good. And did you have any fighters reach out that maybe you didn't know that kind of gave you some props? Maybe some fighters that you don't know.
Like everybody, like I don't know, just random people from like the MMA community were like were like congratulating me. So that was pretty interesting.
What about and this is something we've talked about in our interviews as well. Is like, oh, sorry, go ahead.
I was just like scanning the people that like commented and stuff, like just looking at the comments real quick. And there was a lot of people. They were all like super nice about it. The Raytheon Stotts was kind of surprising when I saw his name. I was like, what? Like this dude watches my fights? That's crazy.
Yeah, that's great. It's a small world. I'm actually interviewing him later today. So he's quite the standout in Bellator. So that's cool. That everyone's watching your fights, man.
Oh, that's sick.
Yeah. That's awesome, man. You've sort of been very open about, your battles with alcoholism and sort of overcoming that. Do you have a lot of people reaching out that are, going through similar struggles, being like, hey, how did you do it or anything like that? Is that something you're getting used to, being sort of a role model?
No, honestly, I don't think so. There's not that many people like they're just like, yeah, good for you, like giving it up and stuff, or like, yeah, I don't even know if I can say I'm still like not drinking alcohol because I've been having like these like hard kombuchas. Mm-hmm. They're like 3%, but I've been using them to just pass out. Like, and I'm kind of trying to like use alcohol for me now. Like, it's my thing. It's helping me.
Right.
But yeah, like so I'll take 2 of those, and I'll take two maybe 20 or 30 milligrams edibles, mm-hmm. and I'll just pass out on like Fridays or like Thursdays or after it's been like a really hard day. And I feel like a lot of my I guess the bodywork guys, it's like they'll call it releases, like when like that tight spot just like drops off. Oh, it's great, dude. It's like,
yeah, it's fantastic.
It's a really deep sleep. That's what Goku goes through when he levels up.
Right. No, good comparison. I like that. And then what about the UFC? They must have been really happy with you getting that finish. And again, you've been with them for a very long time. I know you left and then came back, but still, if you look at the overall UFC career, it's been a while.
Yeah, they're super happy for me, dude. Like I've been there for a while. I've been there. This is my 15th fight, and like I kind of know everybody's name and stuff by now. Like I'm trying at least. It's kind of hard with the mask, but like I see these people kind of like a lot now, and yeah, they're all happy for me. Try to be one of the nicer dudes to work with, I suppose. I'm one of the easier fighters to work with, right?
When are you looking to get back in there for your next fight? I imagine you want to enjoy the holidays and then reassess for next year.
February.
February. Okay. Any names in mind, or you just leave that up to your coaches and manager?
I leave that up to Jason and Colin. Like I just trust them. They didn't even tell me anything. It's just like, yeah, you're doing this. I'm like, okay.
You're sort of on autopilot, as they say. That's great. And then obviously before we let you go, what are your plans for the holidays? I know with COVID, it's a little bit more difficult. Are you going to go back to Hawaii, or are you staying in California?
I'm staying in California. I'm not trying to quarantine. I don't even dude. Imagine if somebody like gave all of Hawaii COVID. It was me. I feel so horrible. I couldn't do that. Dude.
True.
I can't be that guy.
Good point. No, I agree with you, man. Lewis, it's great to see you back in the win column, man. Always enjoy chatting with you. Just remind people where they can find you on social media, and if you have any sponsors or shout outs, the floor is yours, man.
Last Samurai UFC for basically everything. IG, Twitter, Facebook, Xbox.
Cool. All right, man.
Yeah. Just thank you to, my coaches, everybody at Team Oyama, my training partners, my wife, my kid, my biggest supporters, and all my sponsors that helped me out. Defense Soap, Always Ready Meals actually made a lot of food for me. G Fuel Energy, Defend Hawaii, and Virus, and Triumph United. Those are my big ones.